Hey guys, Bigfoot here. Today we're doing our ultralight version of the gear challenge. We are going to get to a base weight of under 10 pounds, ultralight. We are going to make this 3 seasons, so it's practical during any time during through hiking season. And lastly, we're going to spend under $1,500. All right, well, before I get into my gear challenge, I want to just cover the rules. Same rules that we had last time on the gear challenge apply. First rule is these things here have to be practical, which means they have to be able to work out on the trail. So the things that I'm choosing are things either that I use personally or that I've heard reviews on from other through hikers and they held up on the trail. Second is price. So where you're shopping for these things, the rule has to be somewhere where anybody can get this discount, which means it would be no good for me to come up with this gear challenge if I found this steal of a deal at a garage sale or maybe on eBay that is a one-time sale. So that wouldn't do any good to anybody. So everything here you're going to be able to buy either on Amazon or somewhere online so that everyone can get these same prices. And lastly, there's going to be a few pieces of gear, just like in my last gear challenge, that I know you probably have at home, and I did not add that into the cost. Obviously, I added it into the base weight, but things like bandanas, things like that, you probably have lying around the house. So starting off, I'm going to use my phone that has kind of all my notes here. So the pack that I chose was the Z-Packs Arc Haul. I love this pack. Now, there's going to be some things I'm going to use for demonstration purposes only today, and I don't actually have some of the pieces of gear. Actually, most of the pieces of gear, but I just wanted to, again, kind of do a demonstration. So this is my Z-Packs Arc Blast. So imagine this is the Arc Haul, but the Arc Haul comes in at $299. It's a heck of a pack. This pack is 60 liters, which is great because, number one, it's going to give you the capacity if you need to carry a lot more food and you need that capacity. In addition, you can also use the same pack when you get done with the AT if you want to go out and through hike the PCT. So I think that's a great option. Now, the reason why I went with the Arc Haul is, number one, price. Again, it's $299. The second is durability. So with the material that they use on the Arc Haul, the Dyneema, it holds up really, really well. It's waterproof, which means you're not going to need to have a pack liner or a pack cover. So let's go into the other pieces of the big three. So the shelter that I decided to go with, on my last gear challenge, I went with the 6 Moon Lunar Solo LE, and the shelter that I chose, I'm actually staying with the 6 Moon designs. This time I'm going with the Lunar Solo itself, not the LE version, and a couple different reasons. Number one, it weighs 24 ounces, actually 23.9 ounces, so it's a great deal of weight. And then the other piece was, it is only $215, so it's a real steal. It's only about $30 more than the LE, and again, for the weight, it's great. Now, you do need to have trekking poles with that. Now, in addition to that, I did want to mention, I know there's some folks out there that like to have freestanding tents. Another option, alternative option that I'll have in my gear list is the Big Agnes Fly Creek UL1. It's on sale right now on Amazon for $239, which is a steal. It's like $50 or $60 off what the normal retail is, something like that. But anyway, that comes in trail weight, I believe, is somewhere around 27 ounces. All packed weight is about 33 ounces. So if you do want to have a freestanding tent, that's one I recommend. That was the tent I actually was going to bring on the 8T before I switched to the duplex. All right, and for my sleeping bag, I actually went with a quilt. It's the Enlighten Equipment quilt. It comes in at $255 starting, and then in addition to that, it only weighs, and again, this is just a starting weight, so it depends on how heavy of fill that you want to put in there. If you're going with a 10-degree bag or a 30-degree bag, it's obviously going to matter with the weight. But this checks in at 16.56 ounces. So again, that's starting weight. But for $255 and having a quilt under 17 ounces, I mean, that's just a bargain. And again, I've heard a lot of great things about this quilt. So that is my quilt of choice. Going into the rest of the sleeping gear, the pad that I went with is actually the pad that I brought with me on the Appalachian Trail, which is the Therm-a-rest NeoAir X-Lite. Right now, Amazon is having a steal right now on this. It's $129.95 for the regular version. Everywhere that you'll find online, it's $159.95. I've never seen these things on sale, and I just stumbled upon it last night when I was checking out pads. So if you want this for a steal that I really haven't seen before, $30 off Amazon, $129.95. This checks in at 12.1 ounces. Awesome steal. All right. Now, in addition to that, you're going to need a ground quilt with the 6 Moon design. So I have Tyvek for a ground sheet on that. That's about 5.6 ounces. And that wraps up my sleeping arrangements and the big 3. All right, let's go to clothing next. I put all the clothing in my Therm-a-rest pump sack just to hold it. However, I highly recommend getting the pump sack with your Therm-a-rest NeoAir X-Lite if you get this pad. It's a great addition. Check out my review on that, and I talk all about that. But this is not a part of my gear because, as you know, when you're going ultralight, you do have to make some sacrifices. So to get under 10 pounds, I did not add this into the weight or the cost. All right, so for clothing, starting off, you're going to need some sort of sack to be able to throw everything in with all your clothing. Now, I used a Cuban fiber dry medium pillow bag from Z-Packs, but what I chose for this, just with my cost specifications on this, I went with a 5-liter stuff sack from Outdoor Research. It's just under $9, it weighs 1.5 ounces, so assume that is our stuff sack. Now, for socks, I went with a pair of liner socks and a pair, actually 2 pairs of Darn Tough socks. One thing I did upgrade, actually I upgraded my socks for my last Gator Challenge. I also upgraded my shirts. So I actually went with the actual shirts I took with me on the trail, which is the Patagonia Capilene lightweight t-shirts. These things are awesome. They weigh 3 ounces and they take like no time to dry. They are $39 on Patagonia right now. There's no deals on that. Unless if you're like an extra small, I think they might be $19. But these are great shirts. I upgraded the boxer briefs to Ex Officio boxer briefs. I put the 6-inch versions. A lot of people are probably going to go with the 6-inch boxer briefs. I use 9-inch myself because I need the extra protection. And for the pants, I went with a pair of quick dry convertible pants. And they're really cheap right now on Amazon. They're $23.99 for a pair of mediums. So that is the convertible pants that we went with. Now, with the base layers, my base layers aren't going to reflect here what I actually chose. These are just what I brought with me on the trail. But the ones I'm going with are the same ones I went with last time, which is the polypropylene lightweight underwear, which is from the Underwear Guys. They're $12.99, and they check in, according to the website, at 10 ounces for a top and a bottom. That's a great weight, and for the price, you just can't go wrong there. I would not go anywhere else unless if you want to pay a lot of extra money to upgrade and get a little bit better quality. But honestly, for a price, those are great. Check out the Underwear Guys. And then, of course, we got your fleece hat and a pair of fleece gloves that you'll need, at least if you're starting early enough. A bandana. A bandana is one of the things that I did not add into the cost because I figured everyone's got a bandana lying around. And then for rain gear, I went with the same thing I went with in my last Gear Challenge, which is the Frog Togs. You can get those right now on Amazon for right around $16. So they also only weigh 10.4 ounces. And again, you can't go wrong with that. That's a great deal for the cost and the weight. You know, they're going to probably hold up maybe during the course of the trail. You might have to, you know, put some duct tape on a hole here or there, but the pants you're probably going to send back home when you get towards the end of April anyway. Now, for a down jacket, I went with the same down jacket, which is the REI Co-op down jacket. Right now, you can find most sizes for about $70 on REI's website. And the other thing that I did see when I was looking up down jackets, the jacket that I used on the trail was the Patagonia Ultralight down jacket. I really love this jacket. As you can see, it folds nicely up into its pocket, which can be used as a great pillow, really comfortable pillow. this is normally a $300 jacket. Right now on Amazon, you can find this jacket. I think they only have large sizes and above for $149.99. So that's half off. So it's a really good deal. So if that fits your size and you want to spend a little more money, you can get that. These are about 9.5 ounces for weight, and the REI Co-op one is 10.5 ounces. So might not be worth the cost, but again, if you want to go up with a little more quality, a little more style, there is a deal right now on those Patagonia jackets. Next thing that I want to go through is my electronics. So electronics here, of course, you have your iPhone or whatever phone that you're bringing with. So I added that, and of course I didn't put the cost in that because everyone's got a phone. The battery that I'm going with is the Anker PowerCore 10,000 milliamp. This is, again, not the actual backup battery. However, this is a steal. It comes in at 6.35 ounces. It's $23.99 on Amazon. But for 6.35 ounces and 10,000 milliamp, it's great power. It's probably what you need, especially with an ultralight setup. Now, with the headlamp I chose is the Black Diamond. But I went with, this time, the Black Diamond Ion. It's a great headlamp. It actually has, in its high setting, it's got 100 lumens, which 100 lumens is enough that you'll be able to see out on the trail when you're night hiking. And it only comes in at 1.9 ounces. That's with the batteries. So $24.95, 1.9 ounces. That's a steal, and that's my pick for the ultralight setup. Then, of course, other things I just added in is your cords. You probably need a USB cord for your backup battery. You'll need a cord for your phone, and then some headphones and a wall charger. All right. Now, I mentioned that with an ultralight setup, you're going to have to make some sacrifices. So a lot of folks that are going with ultralight setups actually are completely stoveless. So I was stoveless on my through hike, and a lot of the folks that I met on the trail were stoveless that were ultralight. What I went with for what you do need for a kitchen is just some of the basic things. So first off, have a 15-liter Outdoor Research stuff sack. This is for your food bag, and then of course a bear line. All right, you're going to need to bring a spoon. I brought the Optimus titanium folding spoon. It's about 10 bucks on Amazon. The one I have in here is the Tokes titanium long spoon, and that's $9.95, so it's a little bit cheaper than this one. What I do like about this one is it does fold up, so it is smaller, which is nice. And the last thing that I have, last two things I have for the kitchen, if I can find them, it's a lighter. So you're going to need to have a lighter, and you also are going to need some sort of knife. The knife that I went with is the same knife that I brought with me on my thru hike, which is the Victorinox Swiss Army knife. It is only 0.7 ounces, and it's got everything that you need on it. One nice thing about that, by the way, is the scissors on there. The scissors actually work as a nail clipper. I actually clipped my nails with those scissors on there, so it was really nice. And then for hydration, I, of course, went with the Sawyer Squeeze, and you can find the Sawyer Squeeze actually cheaper than Walmart. I used to think that Walmart had the best deal on these. I actually found it on Amazon for a one-pouch setup for $27, which is about 76 cents cheaper than Walmart. So check it out on Amazon. Click on the one pouch, but it's $27 for the Sawyer setup. In addition to that, you're going to need to have, obviously, some water bottles. So I have the Smart Water, a liter one, and then also a 16.9 ounce bottle as part of the weight. And then in addition to that, you're going to want to have something to scoop up the water from the streams. It's really dry out there this year, so you're going to need that, so make sure you bring something like that, but I did add that into the weight as well. So that kind of wraps up the kitchen and hydration. Now for miscellaneous, and a couple of items on here, I put in the weight Ziploc bags, because you need some Ziploc bags. You also will need an AT guide or some sort of paper map. I strongly recommend not just going digital, because you never know if you run out of battery or if you lose your phone or something. So what I recommend is cutting this into 4 sections and mailing 3 sections up on the trail and just carrying a quarter of the actual map or the AWOL's guide at a time. And as you walk off the pages, rip them off and throw them away or use them as kindling, whatever you want to do there. For the trowel, I went with the Tent Lab Deuce of Spades. This thing comes in at 0.6 ounces and it's $19.95 on Amazon. So it's really lightweight, it's really durable, and it's a great deal in my opinion. Let's see here. Other miscellaneous things. This is one item that I actually did spend a little money on to upgrade because it's actually on sale on Amazon for about $50 off retail. And that is my actual trekking poles. So these are the Black Diamond Trail Pro Shock trekking poles. These are the ones I brought with me on my thru hike. I love these things. They're aluminum. So yes, they do weigh a little bit more. However, they are durable. They are strong. I beat the crap out of these and it lasts me the entire thru hike. So I recommend going with an aluminum trekking pole, not a carbon fiber. I've had lots of problems with carbon fiber breaking in my experience, and I've heard a lot from other hikers of that happening too. So these come in at $83.08, something like that. They're normally $130 trekking poles. Great deal right now on Amazon. And let's see. And then for a towel, went with the light load towels. They're really small and compact. I have a 2-pack on here, $3.99 on Amazon, and they weigh just like 0.3 ounces. So they're nothing. That's my towel. You're going to need some sort of towel on there just to clean up the condensation or if you do have any water that gets into your tent. And then I did add into the weight of the pack, just you're going to have obviously your credit cards and ID and a few things and some money with that. And then lastly is just some miscellaneous things here. So with miscellaneous, what I added into the weight is first aid kit, hand sanitizer, a toilet paper, and when it comes to first aid kit, I strongly recommend KD tape. KD tape is way more effective than duct tape and about 1,000,000 times more effective than your actual moleskin. So I would go with KD tape. I usually carry about 4 or 5 strips with me. I did the pre-cut strips. And now I assume that you probably have bandages and some antibiotic cream lying around for your first aid kit, and also toilet paper, so I didn't add that into the cost. Sanitizer, what I went with is I just went to like Target and bought one of these little Perel holders with a sanitizer bottle. And then lastly, for your toothbrush, toothpaste, I went with the Z-Packs lightweight or ultra lightweight traveling toothbrush. It's $2.95. It's 0.71 ounces. That includes the toothpaste and the carrying case, everything. So it's a deal on that. So overall, this whole ultralight setup cost me $1,499. And you have some flexibility with this. The base weight was 9.87 pounds. Again, that's base weight, not including the gear that I'm actually going to be wearing. So my clothing, my trekking poles, and also does not include, of course, food and water. But everything else, I'll put the link to my gear grams list in here. And you can go on there, click on any of the items, and it'll take you to the website where you can purchase that at the price that I dictate on here. But anyway, overall, if you wanted to, you have flexibility with being able to save a little bit of money if you would like on certain items. For example, if you wanted to get a $30 pair of trekking poles because you didn't want to spend 80 bucks and save that money for something else and upgrade like your down jacket, you could do that. Or you could obviously just save some money. So again, save some money there. So thanks, guys. I would love to hear from you any recommendations that you have for deals that are out there so all of us can help learn, and maybe there's a deal that I missed. So if you have any comments about this setup, please add below. Would love to hear from you guys. Thank you so much. Stay tuned for more gear challenges to come and more videos and sightings from Bigfoot. Thanks, everyone. I will see you soon. And remember to always follow Bigfoot.